Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is etefevoke. So over the weekend, I read My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I was looking for a page turner and I stumbled on this book and I went through the reviews and I found that a lot of people found this book really upsetting and very controversial. I I really tried to find this upsetting just because most people found it upsetting. Most people, I won't say everybody, but most people found it upsetting. But in my case, I did not find it upsetting at all. I didn't. If for anything, I found the writing really honest. Before this book follows the life of Vanessa White. Vanessa is a victim of abuse. She was abused by her teacher when she was barely 15, and the man was 42. Strain was 42 years old, and he is a master manipulator. Vanessa was in a boarding school, and this man was English teacher at that time, and he groomed this girl to believe that yes, you gave me consent, yes, you wanted this, yeah, you are mature, we're both alike, and you're dark, Vanessa, just like me, you think like me. So the girl was flattered at that. Oh, he noticed my style, because really Vanessa was one of those students that were just, she was just a normal 15-year-old to me. So she was just that girl, and that was the time where people just really had a lot of questions about themselves and all that. So Vanessa was thrilled that a 42-year-old man found her interesting. So she get to skip where she had to suffer heartbreaks from boys her age, or where boys her age would just be total jerks. And so she was happy that she had to skip all that part and just move on to a man. So that was all part of the grooming process that Strain really filled this girl's head up with. So she never saw herself as a victim. She was actually defending him. So the story is told from Vanessa's point of view, and it seemed like everybody could see that Vanessa was a victim except Vanessa. She was telling the story, and she's telling us about from the years 2000, because the story is told back and forth. So we see Vanessa in 2017 where she was a 32-year-old working in a hotel, and at this time where people were speaking up about rape and a lot of people were just coming out and pointing fingers at their abusers, Vanessa was actually just saying that these people are just talking rubbish. So there were more girls that came out to say that Strain abused them, because this man was worked in that school for over 30 years. So more people came out, but Vanessa was convinced that what she had with Strain was special. She just believed that she wanted it to be a love story so bad, like there was a special connection between them, and there was really none, because that man just manipulated her and she was a victim. So we see here her in 2000 when she was just a kid, just a child, 15. At 15, what Vanessa passed through is not something that I would wish on anyone, because she was manipulated to the point that the man believed that, and she believed that, oh yes, his only crime, in her words, his only crime was, I'll read it out. I am mad at the world that turned him into a monster, when all he did was have the bad luck of falling in love with me. So this book really just unpacks a lot of things in the public, and this topic of abuse is something that's really like a minefield, because people do not want to talk about it. Oh, too dark, too messy. So they don't really want to just address these issues the way it is. And why I felt like this narrative was really honest was because the truth is that people process trauma different ways, and Vanessa is one of many people that have seen abuse as okay, okay, I agree to it. So you find them defending the abusers. So stories like this are really important. I don't find it upsetting at all. Were there some cringe-worthy scenes in this book? Of course. That reminds me, there are a lot of triggers in this book, triggers like child abuse, um, drug abuse as well. So just trigger warning there. But overall, this book really just was dismantling a lot of things that people have brought forward, but people have really brushed it aside and swept it under the carpet. And also, the book was also trying to say, to show how um, systems enable these things to happen, because this was brought forward to the school that okay, this girl and this man are having an issue together, and the school did not handle it well at all. Reading this story, it reminded me of something that happened back when I was in boarding school. Yeah, I was in that kind of environment, and so I could understand a lot of things that Vanessa was explaining in that book. One that really stuck with me was when during the orientation process, the girls were given whistles to blow in case of any abuse. So it was a mixed school, and girls were the orientation that were given to girls was different from the one that the boys were given. So you see Vanessa asking that do the boys get whistles as well? So the teacher was kind of uncomfortable. Abuse is something that people like to dance around. So I could understand that part, that okay, because back then when we were in boarding school, there were a lot of seminars talking about all, and they were not even addressing it the right. They were just like instilling so much fear. Oh, you have to be very afraid. The world is against you right now. So that was something that was also portrayed in the book as well. Then I remember a story that happened when I was in school, where a student accused a teacher of making passes at her, and nobody believed that girl. I did not believe her as well. Nobody believed her because we were just like, and the teacher was really more like louder. The teacher was really loud. I from what I heard, they said he was screaming, he cried. They said the girl was accusing him. I'm not saying he really did it, but my only question now is that why did we not believe that girl? Everybody saw her as kind of somebody who might have wanted it, or maybe she had a crush on the teacher, because and she was not the brightest in the class according to school standards then, and her, I just feel like we would have listened more. So I was in an environment and something similar was happening or was about to happen, and a girl spoke up about it and we did not believe her. That's the long story of it. And the girl had to leave the school. So from when Vanessa was saying the story, I just remember that story and I'm like, okay, why did we not believe that girl? Because even if she was lying, the way the school handled it was not right. Now that I know what I know, how the school handled it was not right. I'm not saying that he would have lost his job. They would have just been able to investigate it better. Not just brush it off as, oh, this girl is somehow, this girl is not even so bright and all those kind of things. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. That's why books like these are really important. People do not know about this kind of things, so I did not find it upsetting at all. I found it really honest. And the truth is that just because a lot of people will see their abusers as, oh, because I've seen a lot of people say they don't like the main character Vanessa, because Vanessa was mean at a point and she was just really defensive and just really twisted up there. But it's the reality. Not everybody's story is perfect. Not every main character can be liked. It's just the fact that things are not all in black and white. There are people that have their stories, and you'll be amazed at people's stories. So I really appreciate stories like this, because it really gives you a fresh perspective of how things are going on there. And I just know that there are people out there that are experiencing or have experienced what Vanessa went through, and they can't really speak up about it. And this book, to me, is just, it had to be written, it had to be told the way it was told, because it really dismantled a lot of topics like consent. How much is really consent in, if we're really talking about consent? Because who might lead you to believe that yes, you want this, meanwhile in your head you're like, I don't really want this. I, it's all complicated, that because a lot of people have raised this kind of topic before, and it's really really complicated, and that's what makes it important. So when we talk about these issues, it really just dismantles it as being a big dark um, topic, because we can see that Vanessa is a 15-year-old. There was a time when she was going to the teacher's house and she um, picked up this night dress from her mother's drawer because she wanted to just look grown up, and because that's what 15-year-olds do. That obsession with being grown. But this man, this predator on the other hand, wanted her to be a kid. So you see that conflicting thing, and this man was just really grooming her for himself. So things that people will say, oh, she must have come from a messed up background. No, she didn't. So that's why I really just like the book, that things are not black and white. Things are can be twisted. Things are happening. People have stories that are different from the conventional stories. And the fact that we have to just say, no, no, don't say your story, you're too broken, it kind of diminishes everything and just make people to just say, okay, what's the point of talking? So we see that a lot of people are even though they are victims, they are still said to be too dark. So even when you are a victim and say this is my story, just because it does not align with how other victims have told their story, does not make it any less true or any less or doesn't make it any darker than the others. It's just their story and how they experience and how they process the entire trauma. So my Dark Vanessa is important to me, and it's honest and it's refreshing and I like it. Cringe worthy moments, of course. And I've Vanessa was kind of a really messed up person, and most of the time I felt like she was in the room with me and she was just telling me her story, and all I had was just eyes filled with pity for her, because I just felt like she needed a hug, she needed a restart button, because that's not something anybody should experience. At 15 you are obsessing over the silliest things. When I was 15 I was obsessing over music. I was just being a 15-year-old. And for people to carry that much burden in their back so early, it's tough. And I feel like we shouldn't dismiss some people's stories as, oh, too dark, too messed up. It kind of downplays the entire point of talking about it. So yeah, that's my take on my Dark Vanessa. If you've read this book, please tell me what you think. I would really love to hear what you think about this book. Yeah. So until next time, do take good care of yourself. Goodbye.